record on this computer. Okay, she let us know. Okay, and we're gonna go here and sound. Okay, guys, can you see this thing all right? All right, good. I'm gonna try this. If this doesn't work, then we'll just fix it. All right, so welcome to Pink Boot Camp, you guys. I'm really excited about it. There's gonna be 4 weeks of it. The first week is this week, and it is emotional management, time management, and money management. 3 things that I'm like, okay, but they're very important, okay? So I think this is really cool looking. So this is the emotional management, okay? There is such, and this is like a really simple wheel. Usually I see a wheel with like 13 different things on it because there's so many emotions we have as women. But tell me if you guys can relate to this. And some of you maybe not because you're brand new. Okay, I'll get to that in a minute. So you join Mary Kay, okay? Welcome to Mary Kay. You're super excited. You can't believe all the possibilities that are going to come to you. You've heard good stories about other people and how it's worked for them, and you can't wait for it to work, right? So then you get your first no, okay? Someone tells you, no, thank you, I'm not interested. And you're kind of like, oh, okay. And then you get another no and another no. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, this is not as easy as I thought it was going to be. And then you start to get a little discouraged. You start with that little voice in your head of, what was I thinking? Why did I say yes? Why did I agree to do this? And you start to get discouraged. Okay. Can anyone relate to that? I can. Okay. And I can't even tell you how many times in 7 years. All right. What we want to do, I thought this was really cool. I used to think this was a newbie problem when I was a newbie. Like I started and I'm the one that's going up and down with my emotions, but when you become a national, you don't deal with that anymore. Not true. Okay. I found out from a national, I can't remember who it was. She gave very awesome wisdom. And what she said was, we go through the same wheel you guys do, emotional wheel, emotional cycle. We just go through it quicker. And I thought that was pretty awesome. Okay. So this might take some of us that are new. This might be like a month or 2 cycle to go through this. The national, she said, we might go through this in 10 minutes because we quickly learn how to bounce back. Okay. And I was like, oh, that is so wise. First of all, it gave me like encouragement, like, okay, we're not all crazy. And second of all, that it was normal. When someone tells you that you're normal and you didn't believe it, it's awesome. Okay. So you want to learn how to quickly bounce back. We used to say women in Mary Kay have a degree in BBA, bounce back ability. Okay. One of my favorite sayings is when you're teaching a toddler to walk and they fall down, they don't throw in the towel and say, forget it. I'm not walking anymore the rest of my life. I can't do it. Or if you're driving down the road and you get a flat tire, you don't get out and get so frustrated that you slash the other 3 tires. Okay. It's not what you do. You take care of what you need to and bounce back. Okay. I loved this word, recommit. Okay. I've always seen like be encouraged or, inspired, but recommit is such a deeper word. Okay. Do you know any couples or heard of any couples, okay, over the years? I think Priscilla's and Eve's parents are probably in this, that have been married for at least 50 years. Okay. That is recommitment. Okay. And a lot of people say, okay, well, what does it take to be married for 50 years? And a lot of people like to say love. Okay. If your answer is love, then you've not been married. Okay. So as much as we love them, there are days that you are like, I'm going to kill you. And I know they feel the same way about us, but that's not what marriage is about. It's about recommitment. That day you got married, you were committed, but the next 50 years, you are recommitting every day, sometime minute by minute. Okay. And that's how it is with your Mary Kay business. You get recommitted. My usual way to bounce back is to listen to a good podcast or listen to the daily calls that we have. Again, I should probably post that again on our Facebook group so you can see the number. There are daily pre-recorded calls. That always encourages me, having those women, like I told you, on Facebook that I can go and look to. Another thing I learned too, when you're struggling in your Mary Kay business, don't look out, look up. Okay. And I learned that too, because it's very easy for someone that's on the same level as you, when you complain to them, they might be in the same place and then they complain back. And then all you guys are doing is just complaining back and forth to each other. I've done that. But when you look up, you always say, you know, never take advice from someone that you wouldn't trade places with. Okay. And so if I want to be encouraged, I'm going to talk to Mary, who's my senior director. I'm going to talk to some of my national friends. I'm going to look up. Okay. So that's when you get excited. Okay. So the one common denominator of all successful business owners is determination. And there's only two rules for success: start and don't stop. People have always said to me, you know, sometimes when they join, I'm afraid of failing, or what if it doesn't work? I said, the only way that you can fail is to quit. That's the only way you can fail in Mary Kay. Okay. And I'm not going to say too, like, there are people that sometimes are like, you know, this just wasn't for me. You know, that doesn't make them a failure. But I'm just saying that's the only way that you can fail in that business, is to not keep going. Okay. Mary Kay likes to also help us maintain our enthusiasm, which I think is pretty cool. And so we have events. Have you guys noticed we're kind of excited about events, okay, when it comes to Mary Kay? But it keeps you encouraged, it keeps you inspired, okay? So we have our weekly events, our Thursday pink huddles, okay? We used to say, if you had a good week, the meeting needs you. If you had a bad week, you need the meeting. Okay. So don't just come on the good weeks. Don't just come on the bad weeks. Come on every week that you can to get inspired and encouraged and built up. Okay. Monthly, we don't really have anything monthly right now that we're doing. I kind of do like Facebook Lives and stuff like that, but we're working on that. Quarterly is something special Mary Kay themselves set up. So there are 4 events a year by Mary Kay Corporate. Well, okay, 4 events a year in Mary Kay. I believe 2 are by corporate and 2 are by nationals and directors. Okay. So the one, and it's kind of like every season too. The one is where we're going in a week, okay, to seminar. All right. And that is by Mary Kay Corporate in Dallas, Texas. Okay. Come fall, so that's our summer one. Our fall one, and we actually already have the dates down. I want to make sure I give this to you. I will give it to you guys a little bit. I think I posted it on our Facebook group. We have fall advance. Okay. I always thought this was cool. You know, people say they have retreats. Well, they don't want to call them retreats in Mary Kay because we're not going backwards, we're going forwards. And so that's why we call them fall advances. Okay. And so it's going to be in Ocean City. Okay. And so if you're close, you can drive. If not, you can fly if that's a possibility. We will be at the Flanders Hotel for that entire weekend. I believe it's the weekend before Halloween. Okay, so it's the last weekend in October. We do it with National Sales Director Cindy Leon, and it's phenomenal. Okay, it's training, it's celebration. We have parties, good food, and there's like a package that you can buy to stay there. We've bought the packages to stay at the hotel, and we've also, one of the girls in our unit owns a condo that's like a block away, and we've rented that from her all together and just split it. Okay, so that was really fun too. So we can figure that out as we get closer. The next one is winter, and winter is January Jumpstart. Okay, and so that's usually again with Cindy. And January is a really good time to get motivated because it's, you ever had that like holiday letdown afterwards? So January is good to get you motivated again. And then we have one in the spring, and that is Career Conference, and that is also by Mary Kay Corporate. And so that one is usually in Atlantic City. Okay. Now the Mary Kay, the career conference is all over the country. So even for our gals that aren't in New Jersey, like Liana, we can hook you up with a career conference that is close to you that you can go to, which is pretty cool as well. Okay. So that is our motivation for that. Hold on a second, guys. I'm trying to get off this screen. Give me a second. Priscilla and Eve, you guys have been to some of our events. What would you tell the girls about it? if you don't mind. I'm kind of just throwing you under the bus, but tell me some of your good experiences from our events and stuff like that.
I think it's like basically very, very, very inspiring. Very, to see where they have been and to see the growth, what they have accomplished is amazing. It's definitely something that you would have to, it's like you have to be there to experience, all that, positiveness, motivation, sisterhood, it's just amazing. Definitely.
It is. And you hit the nail on the head, Eve. It's something that you have to be at because you get excited from watching things on Facebook and stuff like that, but there's just something different being there. Yeah.
Very much.
Sure, for sure. How about you, Priscilla? You have anything you want to share about it?
Yeah, it's pretty refreshing. All the inspiring talks and speeches and the classes that teach you so much that you leave and you're on fire and you're ready to apply everything in your business. You're really excited.
It's true.
And it's just you actually like a lot of times don't realize how much you need that time away sometimes. So that's where the sisterhood kicks in and you feel refreshed as well when you leave. Like, we all just enjoy being together in that positive atmosphere, and like Evie said. So definitely a good thing.
Perfect. Definitely. Thank you. Yes, Liana.
So here, I would love to attend them all, but the problem is that I also do healing sessions for people. And so a lot of the times when I get the notice from you, I'm already booked. Are they ever recorded or?
So they weren't in the past, but ever since we had COVID, they've been doing like a hybrid. And so seminar you can watch digitally this year. There is a hybrid. You're not going to see everything that you were if you were there, but you will see some of the teachings. Okay. And I honestly don't know that they have any plans to take that away. They might be keeping it that way for a little while, doing a hybrid and in person thing. So I can also, they're getting really good about planning way in advance, like a year ahead now. So I can even get a list of dates for you so that you have them for the future, just so you know as well.
Okay.
Okay. And actually,
because you're constantly putting something out there, and this is the first one that I was actually free that I could come to, and it's frustrating because I really want to try to learn, but I'm juggling a couple of things. This is
and you're also on the West Coast too. So I know, I really appreciate you being here today because I probably wouldn't have been able to stop at 3:30 and get on a meeting. So the fact that you're here, we really appreciate it. And things are kind of in there. It's so early because we used to have a thing called Pink Share on Thursdays after our meeting. It's in the air right now if we're going to continue with that. If they end up saying no, I probably will push the meeting back a little bit just to make it easier for everyone to be able to get on too as well. So hopefully that'll help as well. So okay, so the next one we have is top tips with MK Wisdom. Okay, so things to remember when you get discouraged. Okay, and I think this is kind of cool. I might even print it out and put it in my office just to be able to look at it at those times that I do think with my emotions instead of my mind. Okay, so first of all, Mary Kay is mathematical, not magical. Okay, learn to work the numbers so you can take the emotion out of the equation. For example, 1 in 5 people will say yes to hosting for you. So instead of being frustrated by 4 no's and throwing in the towel and saying, forget it, remind yourself that each no takes you closer to your yes. Okay, so I love that about it. It just kind of reminds you. And it's kind of connected with the next one. I always talk about this a lot, and I know you guys know this. We can't take it personally, the no's, okay? When you get a no, don't take it personally. She is rejecting what you are offering. She is not rejecting you, okay? Remember the piece of gum illustration. When you offer someone a piece of gum and she says, no, thank you. Okay, so say when someone offers you a piece of gum and you're like, I just brushed my teeth. I don't really want a piece of gum right now or whatever. So then you're like, no, thanks. She doesn't go in the corner and curl up in a ball and start crying because you don't want her piece of gum. Okay. It's not personal. You was nothing against her. You just didn't want a piece of gum in that moment. And so that's how we have to take this as well. I think there's a book by either Steve Hardy or TD Jakes, but it's about thinking like a man when it comes to business. And the reason they say that is because a lot of times if they don't necessarily think with their emotions. And so when it comes to business, sometimes we have to do that. I don't know about you guys. I'm a very emotional person. I've been working on it for 39 years now, okay, to get better at not being so emotional and sensitive. And this is one of the good ones, okay? This I thought was amazing. Applaud, don't compare. This one I'm going to write in big letters and put it across my wall in my bedroom, okay? Matt will be like, great. Comparison robs you of joy. Don't fall into the trap. Instead of comparing yourself to other Mary Kay sisters, applaud them, okay? Learn to celebrate the accomplishments of your peers, regardless of how you feel about your results, okay? Your sisters are proof that success is possible for you too, okay? I love that. Create a space that inspires you, all right? Create a goal poster. We worked on them a couple weeks ago to remember your dreams and your why. When you feel discouraged, look at your poster, listen to music or affirmations that inspire you, the podcast. This will help you deal with your emotions quickly. In fact, while I got a minute, I'm going to write down 2 posts about the cause so that you guys can see them. Okay. That's the good one. There's a line that we have, I think it has 2 calls on it now. Whenever I'm discouraged, I listen to that. Even if I don't feel like it, I'm like, play, and then I listen to it. And by the time I'm done, I'm like, okay, I'm back, The path to success is a ladder. Okay. So there's no elevator to success. And I think I dare to say, I think our sisters in Mary Kay that came before us dealt better with this because they weren't in the microwave generation. When it started in 1963, they knew things took time. But now we're a prime generation and we want it in 2 prime days or we're having a hissy fit. Okay. And that's not real life. Okay. There's no elevator to success. You have to climb the ladder one step at a time. Keep your vision at the top of the ladder, your dreams, and your focus on the next rung. Okay. You guys are going to know that I'm totally a girl mom and a little kid mom, but there's this line, Leah Carter brought it out in Frozen 2, where she says, just do the next best thing. And it sticks in my head all the time. Just do the next best thing. Don't think about the next 30 steps you got to do. Okay. Patience and consistency will take you further than impulse or emotion. Okay. There's that one saying, someone else's opinion of you is not going to pay your bills. Okay. So that doesn't even matter. All right. What you see rests upon what you're looking for. Okay. So are you hoping, I love this. Are you hoping you have luck and find the right people to have a successful business? Or are you scaling up, reaching out consistently to build your success? Are you hoping you sell a book and recruit and do all that? Or are you expecting it? What's your level of expectation? So I listened to the calls today, and it was actually a call from today was the first one, and then the other call, I guess because I listened early, was a call from yesterday. Like, this was only God. Both calls were titled Belief. Like, I couldn't even believe it. The whole thing was both completely different women from completely different groups of people, completely different seminars, probably don't even know each other. Okay, we're talking about what is your belief. Okay, and so Ari says that she walks into a pampering session, or I guess types now because we're all digital, and thinks to her head, okay, I've got 3 women coming tonight. I'm going to sell 3 miracle sets. Or I have 5 women. I know 1 in 5 decide to book. So I'm going to get a party out of this. Go in there expecting. Okay. All right. The next thing, and anything you guys have questions about, please just stop me. Okay. So that is emotional management. That one I will never, not that any of us do, but I don't think I'll ever arrive and complete it and get a certificate. It is something that I will be working on for the rest of my life. Okay. But I'm getting better. All right. The next one is time management. Yes. Go ahead, Liana.
So, where can we get copies of these?
So I posted it on our Facebook group, the Vipe, I think Vipe link it's called. And you should be able to click on the link and you should be able to print all these out.
The Mary Kay VIP one?
The Hope Unit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Hope Unit is one. The Mary Kay VIP is for like customers. And then I have my consultants on there so you guys can see what I do and replicate it if you would like to. And then the Hope Unit is for just us consultants.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you. That helps.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because these are good. There's a good visual reminder.
Isn't it? Ari is so good. And I'm like, thank you for sharing, Ari. Okay. Just a warning. I don't think you're going to have a problem because mine is a download. But I saw it before for some reason. It doesn't seem to like Ari's website. So Ari's actual website, you might get a pop-up that says this is unsafe. It is not. She can verify that it is completely safe. There's never been any problems. Okay, so I just want to let you guys know, just in case that pop-up comes on you. All right, time management. All right, so this is so interesting. I love this. All right, every week we have 168 hours. So have you ever thought, I just don't have time for my Mary Kay business, or maybe not even Mary Kay? I just don't have time to work out. I just don't have time to meal prep. I just don't have time to go on a date with my husband. I don't have time to go on dates with my kids, all of that stuff, right? Listen to this. This is so crazy to me. All right, so most of us work 40 hours a week. Okay, if you have a 9-to-5 job, and most of us don't have a 9-to-5, but most of us work at least 40 hours a week. Okay, so that leaves us with 128. Okay, if you get 8 hours of sleep, which probably most of us do not, but if you get the recommended 8 hours of sleep a week, that's 56 hours of sleep. Okay, so subtract that. Then you have, think about the hours of commuting to and back from work or grocery shopping, eating with your family, getting ready in the morning, putting kids to bed. That comes to about 42 hours, okay? That leaves us with 30 extra hours a week. Okay, that is plenty enough time to make our dreams come true. But why does it seem like we don't have 30 hours? Well, for me, I can tell you right now, probably about the days that I'm not focused or the weeks I'm not focused, you want to say probably about 15 of those hours are scrolling on social media. Okay, the other ones are, so this is kind of not, I've gotten really good about this, but I used to watch a lot of TV, a lot of binging, okay, like Netflix binging and stuff like that. Now I've kind of combined it with hubby time. So that's our time together, is to watch TV together. Don't ask. Okay. So there are so many different ways, different things we could do that would waste our 30 hours, but 30 hours is full time and then some in Mary Kay. There's a lot we can get done. Okay. So if you want to get to that place, okay, so if you're like me, you're probably like, all right, so that sounds all well and good in numbers, but how do I do that? How do I get to that place? I don't see an extra 30 hours right now. Well, I'm glad you asked. So the next thing we have, weekly plan sheet. We also call it the WPS. We have a WAS and a WPS, okay? Weekly plan sheet. Mary Kay Ash said that most people don't plan to fail. It's that they fail to plan. Isn't that awesome? The weekly planning sheet is a tool for us to design your week with intention. Okay. It allows you to have clarity regarding your available time to do income producing activities. That's a whole nother thing, the IPAs. Okay. So you'll tell that, you can tell, and I think you guys can figure it out. Well, I know Priscilla and Eve and Denise can, but the days of the week are in Spanish at the top, but you can still, if you had Spanish like I did in school, you still know what days those are. Okay. Ari is bilingual. So, but if you go on Mary Kay in Touch and you go to the search bar and you type in weekly plan sheet, you will get a blank one of these and you can fill it out every week. Okay. She also suggests, and I thought this was good, whether it's a husband, whether it's an adult child, whether it's teenagers, little ones, you kind of run their schedule, significant other, it's good to do it with them. this planning sheet, maybe Saturday night or Sunday morning or whatever works for you. Okay, so first of all, what counts as Mary Kay work? Okay, so that is income producing activities. All right, so are you making money in Mary Kay when you have a party? Yes. Okay. Are you making money in Mary Kay when you do booking calls? Yes, because you're trying to book for more parties. Are you making money in Mary Kay when you organize your office? No. Okay. Are you making money when you're packaging orders? That's kind of an iffy one. I would say yes, kind of no. It's kind of both. Inventory, labeling your products. Are you making money? No. How about doing a facial? Are you making money? Yeah. Follow-up calls. Yes, that is a big one. Okay. Guest events. Yes, you have guests there. You're learning while you're earning. Sharing appointments, telling someone about the Mary Kay opportunity. Are you making money? You better believe it. Okay. Designing promos, and making pretty pic collages. Does that make you money? No. How about going to a training or a workshop? Yeah, because you're inspiring in it. That's called back office, but we'll go on that in a minute. And then posting. Okay, so this one I'm probably going to disagree with Ari. I think it depends what you're posting. Okay. I know you guys crack up at my little Instagram stories that I've been doing with Mary Kay, but I can't tell you how many sales I get out of that. So for me, posting on social media to do that, yes, I'm making money. Posting on social media to tell my opinion of someone else's opinion on their cousin's opinion, no. Okay, that is not making money. All right. So there used to be a rule in Mary Kay, not a rule, but like a word of wisdom, was to do your IPAs from 9 to 9. Okay, so from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And that doesn't mean the entire 12 hours. Okay, come on, we know that. But that's when you do want to do the money making activities. For things that don't make you money, you want to try to do them before 9 a.m. or after 9 p.m. because the 9 to 9 is prime people time. So that's when people are available to you. Okay, so I love how she does the color coding. I'm like, every organizer's dream. Okay, so she has them all down here of what they stand for. So yellow is her God time. So this is when she has, this is just an example of somebody's, this is probably when she has her devotional. Okay, and then she has church right here. Family time, when she's doing things with her family. Date night. Is that on there? I don't see it. Uh-oh, her poor hubby. Okay, but date night's probably in there somewhere. Okay. Income producing activities right here. So facials. So she has 1, 2, 3.5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then together 12. So she has 12 hours to work her business each week. Okay. Now this I kind of thought was Mary Kay stuff, the pink, but non-income. So back office stuff. So that is Thursday night meetings when we don't have guests, doing your labeling if you can't get someone else to do it for you. All that still Mary Kay stuff, but the after 9 to 9 kind of is what you're going to try to focus on. Job is for those of us that have the 40 hours a week. Okay. And then personal, to get her nails done or to go get an ice cream or whatever it may be. Okay. So I like the color coordinated. When I was really consistent with this, I could tell my family really appreciated it because I would fill this out, put it up, post it on our fridge. And then they didn't have to ask me 30 times in a week, what are we doing tonight? Or what's going on tonight? Or are you available? Or can you do this? Or can you do that? They can see. Okay. I even got to the point because the boys were younger and they'd be like, what's for dinner? I'd be like, look at the weekly plan sheet. It's on there because I'm not going to keep answering this. When you have 3 teenagers, they don't ask you at once. Like they ask you 3 different times throughout the day and you're like, ah! Okay. So yeah. Love them. All right, so here's a blank one. So you could even print out this one if you like. In fact, I kind of like her key thing. So she doesn't even like write in what she has. She just color codes it, which I think is pretty cool. So you could print that out or get the one off MK in Touch. The next thing, the 6 most important lists, okay? I've been actually doing mine in my phone. It's just easier. Under notes, I put the date and I put my 6 most important lists, okay? You can do ones for your business and one's for personal, okay? But you don't want to really mix them if possible. So I thought this was cool. Charles Schwartz, I think. I gotta find out who it was, created the 6 most important list. He was the first to tell people about it in the 1940s. And when people started following it, they figured out that they were making 35,000 extra dollars a year by following it. And this was the 1940s. So today it'd probably be like 150,000. Okay. So ever finished your day tired of doing and doing? But you feel like you haven't accomplished anything that brings you closer to your goal. Like do you ever have that moment when your husband's like, how was your day? And you're like, it was so crazy, you know, or your girlfriend or your kid or anyone. And they're like, why, what happened? And you're like, you can't even like think of it, you know, but you just know it was crazy. Okay, so this tool will help you maximize your time to always have successful days. You want to do it the day before. First of all, when I do it the night before, I sleep better, you guys. It's called a brain dump. You get everything out of your head that you think you have to do, and then you go to bed and there's peaceful sleeping. Okay, so there's actually 2 different ones. You could do a brain dump. The way Pam Shaw explains it is do a brain dump for every week of just everything you have to get done. And then keep going back to that main list every night when you do your 6 most important and find which ones are important to do. Okay. What else did I want to say? The next day, start with the first item on your list. So it's good to prioritize them as well and complete them all in order. It's so satisfying to prioritize a list. Okay. Tell me I'm not the only one who's ever like had a list, but then you remembered something important to do. And so you did it. And then you went ahead and put it back on the list and did a check mark just to feel accomplished. Anyone? No? Okay. He's laughing at me. Liana said yes. Okay, good. I'm like, look, I did do it. So, all right. So a couple of her suggestions for important 6 things for work. Who do I want to book tomorrow? Okay. Which clients can I follow up with? So there's your gals that were interested, Liana. Okay. What appointments do I need to coach? All right. So that's following up with the hostess and checking her list and checking with the guests to make sure you have their mailing address and skin type or eye color. Who can I share the MK opportunity with? So you should each month be keeping track of, and again, this is something I can send you I'm not sure where I found mine, but I can send you mine, where I have a list of the faces I see each month. And then I'll go back over the month before and see who I could share the opportunity with or who I could book for a color appointment. Okay. Who on my team needs support, and business administration, non-income producing activities. So all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's that one. I feel like I wanted to tell you something else, but I forget that I have that. Okay. Money management is the last one. Okay. So money management, you sold something. Congratulations. Have you ever known that you sold things in Mary Kay and then you're like, where's the money? Show me the money. I know I sold stuff, but how come I don't see it? Okay. A lot of that has to do with tracking it. That way you can see it. And sometimes, you know, your partner, you know, or whoever you live with and do business with and income stuff with, especially if it's a guy, when they can see in writing where the money's coming from, it makes a difference. I remember a consultant telling me, and this was like back in the day, when they first started, that she would come home from her parties and hand her money to her husband, not as a like control thing, but as a like, see, this is what I made. I'm not just going out to have fun. I'm not just going out to party. I'm not having you watch the kids so I can go have a, you know, good old time every night. Look, I'm making money. So he could see tangible in the hands that there really was money. Okay. All right. So step number 1, always collect sales tax. Okay. You want to always collect the sales tax. Google has been my lifeline since everything went virtual, because I just Google what's West Virginia's sales tax, you know, so you know how much it is, because you're going to end up paying it when you place the order. And so wouldn't you rather use the money they paid for instead of your own money? So always collect the sales tax. Okay. Step 2, deposit the entire amount of your sale into a separate bank account, one used just for Mary Kay. All right. So here's the example I love about it. So you want to open up a Mary Kay checking account. You want it to be free, but you'll know that it's your Mary Kay account. It's not a business account, because a lot of businesses accounts, you have to have like $3,000 or $4,000 in it. No, this is just a regular checking account that comes with checks and a debit card. Okay. And you want it to be free. Okay. Because have you ever, and it's what's funny is that I know, again, we're not doing necessarily parties in person, so maybe it's easier because we don't have cash on us. But back in the day when I would go to parties, you know, there'd be a $300 party, I'd be traveling home and I'd get hungry. So I'd be like, well, let's go through KFC and I have some cash on me. Well, I probably should get some gas too. I have some cash on me. Husband calls me on the way home. Can you get me ice cream? Sure. I have some cash on me. Next thing you know, it's time to place the order. And I'm like, where'd all the money go? You can't, if you're like me, don't have it on you, put it in that bank account. Okay. So what the way it works is you put all right, so say it was $100 party. Okay. Because I'm just picking 100 because it's easy for me to do math. You're going to put $100 into that bank account. Okay. So then you're going to complete your accomplishment sheet each Monday, dividing the money into 4 parts. Okay, so that's the weekly accomplishment sheet, and that's another training we do. I want to say, I think I posted it. I think I posted it on our group of what it is. If not, I'll go back and look and I'll post it again on our Facebook group. But it breaks things down for you to see where the money is going, and it's good to have it tax time. Okay, so taxes, it's not yours. Don't touch it. Leave it in there till it's time to reorder. Okay, reorder. So you want to take 50% of that sale goes to reordering, so you have the products for future sales. Leave it in the Mary Kay account. Okay, reorders will keep you in business with doors open. Otherwise, you're gonna get yourself into big trouble. Okay, so you got $100 party, you're gonna take $50 of that to reorder the products. Basically, you're restocking your shelf. Okay, if you have the products, you're restocking your shelf because you took off it to give to someone. If you don't have the products, then you're using that $50 to actually get the products for them. Okay, then you want to take 10% of those sales, okay, remain in your Mary Kay bank account and budget it for MK business expenses. So this is what Priscilla was talking about. That 10% of every party, she might stow that away to have money for seminar. Okay, you could use the 10% for, like I said, business expenses. You can use that 10% for PCP. You can use that 10% to buy more samples. You can use that 10% to get more catalogs, to get bubble envelopes, to sell yourself. That way you're not using your own money and your family's money. Use your business money. That's what you have it for. Okay. And then 40% is your clean profit. So transfer this amount into your personal bank account. So for example, you had $100 party. I'm going to take $50 of that and use it towards ordering the products. Okay. I'm then going to take 10%, so $10, and leave that into the Mary Kay account for a later time. Okay. Some people even go as far as to have another checking account just for the 10%. To me, that's a whole lot of checking accounts, but it's just something more clear. Then you're going to transfer $40 from that account to your personal account, and that is your paycheck to do whatever you please with it. Okay, make sense? So Mary Kay is a 50% commission, but they suggest doing 50, 10, and 40. That way, for all your business expenses, especially now, I don't know about you, but personally, I'm using a whole lot more business expenses because I'm doing things virtually. So I'm getting samples, I'm getting bubble wrappers, I'm getting printers, stuff, and all that. But you know what I'm not doing? I'm not spending time and money on traveling to places. And so to me, it's worth the trade, okay? Because I'm no longer spending gas money. Oh my gosh, could you imagine if we were spending gas money right now? So I'm not spending gas money to go to all these parties. I would travel an hour to 2 hours to some parties. Can you imagine that in gas money? So I'm thanking God for virtual, okay? All right, let's see what we got.
Before
We're
you
almost,
move on,
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so when you talk about the 50% for reordering,
Yes.
what are these products that we're going to use as freebies for people, or I don't understand what you mean.
So say you had okay, so the miracle set used to be $100. So let's say someone bought from you the miracle set. Okay, they paid you $100. Okay, you would take, if you had it on your shelf in your inventory, you would give it to her or mail it to her, however you would get it to her. But now it's no longer on your shelf. And so you want to restock that shelf. And so you would take that $50 and order another miracle set to have in your inventory for the next
I
sale.
get that, but what I don't understand is if I'm placing the order, isn't it going to come from Mary Kay?
Well, that's for the CDS. If you wanted to, if you didn't have it in your inventory or you didn't have it in your stock and you just wanted Mary Kay to ship it directly to her, then you would just take that $50 and do that with it. Does that make sense? So either way, you're purchasing the product from this sale. So you're either purchasing to restock your inventory, or if you don't have inventory and you just do CDS and have Mary Kay send things to people, then you would take the $50 and use it to that.
Okay, I have to think about this. I'm not sure I
Okay.
get it, but
Yeah. Think about it, write down questions, and you and I can chew on it. So,
okay.
okay. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you can ask Priscilla and Eve because we've been in it for a while. Some of this took a little while, you know. At first, I was like, "What?" Now I could just spit it off in my sleep, you know. But when I started, I was like, "Whoa!" I had someone explain it to me, and I was like, "Could you write that down?" Because I had to be able to look at it. And then
Yeah.
after I looked at it, then I went back to her and so you mean this? Yes. Okay. So totally get it. I totally get it. It takes time. So don't, you know, just digest it.
Okay.
So, okay. Because we have all been there. Okay. Weekly accomplishment sheet. So this is the one we call WAS. Okay. So this is a little complicated. I can have you guys chew on this and look at this later, but I thought this was cool because this kind of does a monthly goal. Okay. So say you wanted, well, okay, Christy, do you mind if I use you as an example? Okay. Christy would like to go on a cruise with her hubby. Okay. And so she figured out it's probably going to be about $2,000. Okay. So she would break it down into 4 weeks of how to make that money. Okay. So we would do retail sales without tax, how much she would need, total tax collected, 50% for the reorder, 10% expenses, and 40% profit. So this would just show you after your week of sales how you did. Okay. I like how it shows on the right hand side. I'm pointing to my screen like you guys could see it. I'm sorry. I like how on the right hand side it says my profits. So it shows you. Okay. So of course I'm going to have to use my calculator. All right. So let's do $2,000. Okay. And Christy, so in order for Christy to profit 2,000, which is 40, right? Sorry, sometimes the mean numbers would just not work. So usually with the 50-50 split, she would have to sell $4,000 in a month in order to receive 2,000. Okay. So split into 4, she would sell 1,000 a week because she would keep 500. And by the time she got to week 4, she would have her $2,000. Okay. But this is going to totally break it down for you. So say she sold $1,000, okay, without tax. Then you would do the total tax collected. So let's just say back when good old Jersey had the 7%. So the tax collected would be $70, but Christy would not touch it because she's going to just use that money when she places her order to pay for her tax. Okay. 50% for reorder. So Christy is going to take $500 to either purchase the product to give it to them or to restock what she took from her shelf. 10% expenses. Okay. So that's $100. I can figure that one out. So that's $100 she would save. Okay. And then 40% would be her profit. And so she would have $400. Okay, so that's where you would want to raise the 2,000 and it's probably something else, but we can figure that out. So does this make sense to you guys? It's definitely something that like I have to look at to work on, but I think it's something pretty cool to print out. And then even just to see your monthly total. And that way too, even like when it comes back to like tax time, you'll be able to see what you spent taxes on, what you spent reorder time, put it in after a month, you should have 12 of these copies, okay, for 12 months, and put it in a notebook. You can have it for you, and you can be able to show your accountant, or if you're doing your taxes, where your money went. Okay. And of course we love this. This is probably my favorite topic. Tracking expenses for tax purposes. Oh my gosh, we had a accountant tell one of our consultants one time, she's like, I don't care if you make bracelets in your basement, which if you do that, that's totally fine. I'm not dogging on it. But everyone should have some sort of home-based business, because the taxes that you can claim are amazing. Okay. And there's a sheet that I have going around, and I can show you guys. It's called Just the Tax Man, please. But these are just different things that you want to keep receipts of. Okay. So one of the greatest benefits of having your own business is deducting business expenses from your taxes. What your accountant needs is accurate records. Okay. It's pretty simple. Make one envelope for each category below to file away the receipts and put them all inside a shoebox. Okay. Or do like an accordion file. Okay. Now, I don't honestly do all of these. A lot of these for me are, okay, so for example, shipping expenses, or shipping materials. Isn't there shipping expenses or something? Postage. For postage, if you use pirateship.com like I do, you can go in the reports and they'll show you how much you spent the past year. Okay. My first year doing Mary Kay, I was nervous. I was really nervous because I was like, now I own a business. I'm probably going to owe a lot in taxes. You guys, it was our biggest tax return ever, because we kept track of all the things that you can get. One of the biggest ones, it's probably changed with all the gas prices, but in the past years, it was 60 cents on the dollar for gas and for driving and mileage. Okay. We used to say, if you don't want to track your mileage when you're going to somewhere for Mary Kay, okay, it can't just be when you're going to like the nail salon, but like if you're going to a party or you're going to Staples to pick up products for Mary Kay, or you're dropping off an order, keep track of your mileage. In fact, I think, I can't remember who it is. I can look it up, but there's even a couple apps that actually track for you on your phone. It's pretty cool. But we used to say, if you're not keeping track of your mileage, we want you to go drive down the highway, roll down your window, and every 2 miles, throw a dollar bill out the window, because that's what you're doing. Okay. So that's why it's important. So that always stuck in my head and made me think, so, okay, tolls, another thing. Anyway, so you might want to get like an accordion file to put this under there. Whatever works good for you. If you're digital with doing Excel and stuff like that, I'm personally not. But if you are, do it there. Whatever works good for you. Okay, you guys. So that was our first training. We did it. So
What is section 2?
Good question. So section 1 is our products. It's all of our products, or just all of our products. Section 2, it's basically wholesale. Section 1. Section 2 is basically business supplies. Okay, so if you were to go on Mary Kay In Touch and you click on order, and then you go to place an order, and you know how they have all the different breakups of like, here's skincare, here's flawless face, here's eyes, here's lips. If you look on the bottom row, it'll have section 2 things. So it's like new catalogs. When we used to use what's what I'm looking for? Order forms, samples. Is that what you're saying, Hector?
Like the little, like the little sponges and little baby applicators, like when we want to throw those in our bags or whatever.
Yep. So samples, everything to help. Everything that's not specifically a product of Mary Kay, but samples, sales slips, catalogs. I'm trying to think what else they have under there, pins, stuff like that. So does that make sense? So it's basically business supplies from Mary Kay. Okay. So does anyone have any questions? No, let me hit the, I don't want to stop you guys, but I do want to stop the recording.
I've been